voice of the fan. Drop a bounce pass, throw down the rim rocker. Lay up off the glass, right past the shot blocker. I follow through like Kobe's is money. You can cash it. For news on LA Hoops, come over to Peach Basket. The Peach Basket.
Who's your finals MVP? This is always a conversation that, you start talking about right about now. There's only been one MVP from a losing team. I don't know that that'll happen. It's only happened once. The only reason I bring it up is because the odds-on favorite right now is Chris Paul. But that was before tonight. That might have even been before Game 4. He's fallen off a cliff, like we said. So I don't know that he is the odds-on favorite right now. If we assume the Bucks are going to win, who's your MVP?
This is tough because the easy answer would be Giannis because
sure.
But the thing for me is, like, even when the series began, we saw Giannis have great games, and they still lost the series, right? I mean, the games. I'm sorry, they still lost the games. But if you notice, when the Bucks started winning, Chris Middleton has been the closer for them and getting huge buckets. And he's not just averaging like 15 or 20 points; he's getting like 30 points, 28. Didn't he drop 40 that one game against Booker too? Was it Game 4 when he went 40? So I think for me, like, I would love to see the NBA do some history, like co-finals MVP. I just don't see it happening. I think I think Giannis is gonna get it because he's been probably statistically the better player since Chris Middleton didn't show up the first 2 games. But I want to show Chris Middleton some love because if Chris Middleton is not performing like this or closing out these games, the Bucks wouldn't be in this situation up 3-2 as well. I'm gonna say Giannis, but Chris Middleton definitely deserves some consideration for Finals MVP.
Yeah, I think if things go the way they're going, I would agree with you. Most valuable player has always been such a fuzzy thing for the regular season pick and the Finals MVP pick. I don't really know what they mean it to mean. Right? I think you're right. 9 out of 10 times they just go with the best player, and maybe not even the best player, but the face of the team that won. Giannis is definitely the face of the Bucks. But if you remove Giannis, then you've got somebody else in there who can hit free throws, which is his one Achilles heel. But if you remove Chris Middleton, I don't think these last 2 games go to the Bucks, right? They won because of Chris Middleton. So is he more valuable? It's tough. I agree. I think it'd be great to see them, pick 2, but we'll see. Right now, I think certainly after tonight, I think Giannis is probably the leader in that race. But we'll see. What's interesting about the NBA, what's interesting about a 7-game series, and what's interesting about sports in general is last week when we did our show last week, the Bucks were down 0-2, and everybody was talking about, they're done. Yeah. The Suns are going to win the final. I can't believe it. And then the Bucks win Game 3, the Bucks win Game 4, Bucks win Game 5. And now it's like, wow, it's just amazing how quickly the tide turns. It could turn again. If Chris Paul has another game like he had in the closeout against the Clippers and then duplicates that in Game 7, certainly he's the MVP. Yes. That's why we watch sports. That's the reason we love it, because you never know.
Suns are going to look back in this series, and specifically Chris Paul, that Game 4. Honestly, the Bucks had no business winning that game. And the fact that they gave the momentum back to the Bucks, and you can see how it translated Game 5 and they won the series. Not only is it going to affect the Suns more so for their future, but how does Chris Paul's legacy look is going to be the question this offseason. Like, he's had so many meltdown careers, like Clippers Game 5, things of that nature. Not to stay away from the topic, but it's going to be an interesting conversation regarding Chris Paul's career, A lot of meltdowns for sure. And he's one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, but I think I'll leave the balance of that alone. But he's definitely a great player, and we'll see how things play out for him.
The voice of the fan. Drop a bounce pass, throw down the rim rocker. Lay up off the glass, right past the shot blocker. I follow through like Kobe's is money. You can cash it. For news on LA Hoops, come over to Peach Basket. Up-to-date sports, post-game reports, debates and play-by-play coming straight off the court. The voice of the fan making noise, causing havoc. Zone a man up, you can ask Peach Basket. The Peach Basket, come and tune on in. The Peach Basket, where the news begins. We're dropping news like we're in the stands. Creative fans. The